Hello and welcome to Nerdarchy. For nerds, by nerds, I'm Nerdic State. Today I'm hanging out with Shay. How are you doing today?
I am doing very good. I am excited to talk to y'all. I am somewhat nervous because I'm a shy person, but I'm happy to be here.
Don't worry about it, man. It's just me and you, and maybe a couple people. A couple people online to watch. Most of our views come after the fact anyway. So we might get some questions. We'll dive into the chat for. But if you could
Okay.
just be so kind to kind of introduce yourself and tell people a little bit about you.
All right. So my name is Shay. On TikTok, my name is Three Piece. That's because I talk about three things. Basically, I talk about my obsessive gaming, and then my music, and then me being weird. And that's the three things you'll see. So that's basically me.
So how does music influence your gaming, or vice versa, really?
For music, especially like the first AP I actually dropped, it was all based on different personas. And so I would have a game, I would have a song about like an anime character or a person I've seen in fiction. And so it inspires me because I get a lot of ideas. Like I want to make an album. I want to make a song called Mana Flow. That's about Magic the Gathering and different elements. And this would be like a really chilled song. And so like gaming stuff kind of influenced me. Like I'm working on this other project that's like hush hush because I'm not done
Yeah.
yet. But it has to do with my mixing of gaming and music. That's how I usually do it. It's usually inspiration.
Now, but I can see some keys behind you,
Mhm.
because you're in the box, for the overlay. Other people can't see that. So, what kind of music do you create? Like, what genre?
Uh, I make alt pop, like alternative pop. Sometimes I make alternative hip hop. Sometimes I do R&B. Like it's in that area of either it's going to be really fast and do the or it's going to be really slow. It's going to do the it's going to be somewhere there. It's going to have a groove to it, but it's like in between those things because then I make like really poppy songs that are weird.
Nice. So have you done any D&D theme songs yet?
I so there's a character that I made called Tiffany Lears, inspired by like Britney Spears, and she has songs called like what's that song? Oops, I killed them again. It's like, oops, I killed them again. I cast fireball, and now you're in flames. And so it's like, so I
Nice.
yeah, that's a little bit of D&D, and I'm gonna do more of it. It's like as much as I'm getting into the hobby, because I mean, I have been playing D&D for that long. I mean, longer than others, but not for that long. But the more I play, the more ideas I get.
I think it's like the nature of the beast, right? The more we're exposed to, the more ideas flow, the more you see how other people do stuff. And
Mhm,
like we're in this like golden age of just like tons of D&D and RPG content.
mhm.
What are some of the other games you like to play?
Huh. Okay, so Dungeons and Dragons, Vampires the Masquerade. There is Worldwide Wrestling, second edition. And then there's all 50 of my board games I have looking at me, staring at me right over there. So I like playing a lot of tabletop games of any caliber.
How many of those 50 games have you actually played?
I played all of them. There's one game that's staring at me right now.
Yeah.
It's Eldritch Horror, which is even worse. And I haven't played that yet, but it's been looking at me wondering why I haven't. It's a one player game. I could pull that out at any time.
Oh,
But yeah,
that
I
one you don't have an
played.
excuse for. At least with some of the other ones, it's like, well, you have to find people and
Mhm.
set it up or whatever. I just know every board game enthusiast I know has a shelf of shame where it's just full of games that they've bought but they have not played yet. And Kickstarter
Mm,
is like the worst for that.
yes. And I am lucky enough that my wife plays games too. And so we can not tackle like all these games. At least play it once if we like it.
Yeah.
But if we don't like it, we at least said we played it. And I think we played mostly every game on here at least once. So yay.
What's your favorite tabletop game?
Okay. I gotta give you a top three. I already know in my heart, Betrayal on House on the Hill, my favorite. Like, never mind. I only got one favorite.
Yeah,
It's that game.
it's a
I
good game.
love it. It's like so replayable. Like, I have this game since 2015, and I still have not played every scenario that's
There's a
in
lot
that
of them,
book.
and then there's the expansion too, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
And I also bought like Betrayal Legacy. So it's
yeah,
like the legacy version of that game. And we just hit like 2 levels on that. So I have a lot of Betrayal still left, and I'm excited.
yeah. That could take you a while. That could take you a while.
Mhm.
So what are the other two?
Other two, Pandemic Legacy. And now we're talking about legacy games, but I really like it. Was funny. We started Pandemic Legacy last year, and then everything dropped. And I was like,
Oh,
oh no, we're
you're like, this is
playing
too
now.
real.
It's too real. And so that was
Yeah.
hilarious to me. So that's a good game I like. Here to Slay. I won't say that's a good game. That's the third right now.
I'm not
They you
familiar
know
with that one.
have you heard of, dang it, it's a unicorn game. But basically, I can't remember the other game. But
Yeah.
it's basically you are a party leader and you're trying to fight monsters. And so you can either, there's 2 win conditions. You either beat 3 monsters and then you win. You can either have like all the different classes and then you win. So they got like the bar class, the thief class, the different classes, and you can interact with other players to make them mess up. So you like do like a spell from the wizard, like the wizard. If you roll, and it's a dice game too. So if you roll like a with 2d6 is like a 10, you can steal somebody's monster or steal somebody's character. And so it's a very, very fun game. Like, it's like, I think it's my new entry level game to give
Okay.
people. It's like it's like that simple to understand, but it gets you to a new world that's not just Monopoly.
Is it
So
is it how long is the playtime?
about maybe 20 minutes, 20-30 minutes. So it's not like you're sitting down that long. And
It's
then
not
if you
bad
really
at
know
all.
it, you can get into it and you can play it like for like 10-15 minutes if you really know the game.
Yeah, when it comes to tabletop games, I'm more of a filthy casual than
Fair. Yeah.
than anything. I judge a game on by how fast Ted can teach me to play it. Um, but I do have a couple that I love playing. Like Quarriors is a lot of fun. If you've never seen that, it's a
Mm.
dice instead of a deck building game, it's a dice pool building game. Yeah,
See, I need to
so
make
like
notes because
so
that
you
sounds
like
fun.
basically you have monsters and spells, right?
Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh.
And like you lay out a bunch of cards on the table and they each represent like a magic or a spell, and then they have like 5 dice on each one. And on your turn, you draw dice from your bag, roll them, and then you use that number to buy the spells or monsters, or or bring out, like, because when you get those dice they represent spells and monsters, so you could also
Uh-huh,
use
uh-huh.
them once they enter your pool. And so like you're like just fighting everyone else basically. It's a lot of fun, and it's a lot different than any of the games I've seen.
Yep, I will be coming back to this video and
Yeah,
making notes. I would make notes on my whiteboard like I always do. It's like a running joke when I get an idea, I have to run to my
yeah,
whiteboard.
yeah. Well,
But
it's like
it's
Warriors with a QU
Mhm.
instead of a W.
Oh, that's easy to remember. Yes,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah. So there's a bunch of expansions. So that
Oh
game's a
yeah.
lot of fun. So I
Uh-huh.
love Smash Up. Uh,
Yes, yes.
it's just that, like, it's just like I like mindless stupid games that I just can like play over and over again. Because like if I
Yes.
and obviously you mentioned Betrayer, A House on the Hill, like that is one of the few games that isn't like a fast game that I really
Mhm.
like. Because like
Mhm.
I guess like if I'm playing a game and it's more than like 2 hours, I'm like I should just be playing an RPG instead of this, right? And the ADHD starts kicking in.
Mhm.
But
I I found that out. Like because playing all these games, I find like new pockets of people. Like some people, like they can do like says Here to Slay or Warriors. They could do that game. If I try to bust out like, let's see, if I try like bust out Betrayal or
Yeah.
bust out Pandemic, sometimes that can be long. If I bust out like a long game, like Deception, which is a good game too. Oh, I forgot about the other good game. Anyway, uh you gotta have the right people and you gotta be ready for it. Like you gotta come
Yeah.
into the day like I am about to play a 2+ game.
Or Arkham Horror.
Yes.
Like I
Yes.
played one game of that and it was like 6 hours and like I don't need to do that again. It was like I did it, it was cool, but I don't need to ever do it
Right.
again.
Right. And that's totally fair. Like you got
Yeah.
to know your level of gaming.
Yeah. So one of the things that Ted did is he turned Betrayer into a
Hmm.
D&D adventure.
Oh, you totally could. Yes.
So he just so he ran a regular D&D adventure, but then he would use the tiles and set out the tiles and to like randomly
Oh,
generate kind of like the dungeon as you go.
uh-huh. That's brilliant.
Yeah, yeah.
Because then you will never like it will always be different because you could just pull around tot. Huh.
Yeah, and it
Huh.
kind of gives you a board. I mean, it's not to like scale or anything, but it gives you an
Oh yeah,
idea of
no.
what's going on. So it's still
Right, right.
fun.
Exactly. Then what
Yeah.
you do when you run into a place that has an omen in it? Like I can see mechanics like everywhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So he's run that a few
Oh.
times now. So it's always cool too, like where you can find inspiration for your games.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
when you're gaming, are you usually a player or a GM?
I am thankfully both. Like
Nice. Do you
like
have a preference?
I don't actually because it's like both give me what I want.
Yeah.
Like when I'm a player, I can be weird and not think. Like on my on my Saturday game, I play somebody named Unison. And they're a reborn blood hunter. And
Oh,
basically
cool.
they have 4 different souls inside one body. So like I am Unison, then I'm Uni, and then I'm Mr. Unison. And then I'm the creepy using the chosen. And it's so fun. Like, so I can just be weird and just do
Yeah.
things like that. But then when you're a DM, you can just create the weirdness. And so, like, making like the crimson red dragon, like making stuff like that, a glitched purple worm, like that makes me so happy. So they both have different types of places of creativity that is makes me so happy.
I want to play I want to play a reborn phantom rogue.
Yes.
But instead
It's,
of like, being in touch with the dead,
mhm,
it'll be
mhm.
in touch with like the different body parts you're made up of.
Oh, that will be fun.
Yeah,
Especially
yeah.
because when you reborn, you can just attach it like stitch. Somebody could have stitch you together, and I see
Yeah.
it. I see it.
That was the first thing I thought of when we saw the reborn lineage.
Yes, I love like I think I have grown more accustomed to like in horror type, like scary suspenseful games. And so
Yeah.
when I see, because I haven't played Strahd, which makes me sad, but I got that book and I like gravitated to like the dark deals that they have in there or in the what the reborn and then the new I believe it's a not a blood hunter. I think it's a warlock that I can't remember exactly, but basically that whole book is like lovely. It
Yeah, which warlock pack is in there?
was
I don't.
some. It was either warlock or it was. I can find it. It's either warlock or it was paladin. It was one. It was like somebody who went and got it. Warlock the undead. Yes.
Oh yeah, they redid the undead. Or no, they didn't read did it. Yeah, the undead. So to me it's like it's the undying 2.0.
Yes. Yes. Basically, but yeah, so those things make me happy. I'm looking at the book and I can't, and this is making me so much like I love this. Like all you can create your domain of dread. Anyway, I can look at this forever. I'm gonna click
Yeah.
out of it.
So yeah, we were talking a little bit beforehand. That's what we're playing right now in our Saturday. I have a Saturday morning game where
Mhm.
where we're going through the different domains now. The next one we're going into is going to be Eldritch Horror. So we'll see.
Yes.
We've had like 3 characters die in this campaign so far.
In a horror game, you expect at least 3.
Yeah.
Like you
2
have
of
to
them were
have.
mine. So,
And I feel that. Like in my home game, I feel so bad.
yeah.
The person who dies is the exact same person. And it could be different things.
Mhm.
Like one, I understand because I made this like lava titan, which basically like does punches. Like if one is lava, so if you get close to it, you get heat damage, you get fire damage because it's really hot, and it does
Yeah.
like punches that it. I don't know if you play League of Legends, but basically it has like there's a character named Zach who does this like flying punch that he takes some of his body and it goes to an area, so it's like a almost like a fireball getting shot from this monster, and then you can go into that lava pit and suck up all the HP back.
I used to play League of Legends, but I know that character came out after I stopped playing.
That's fair. That's fair. League of Legends has been around for a while.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I find if I play video games, I don't really do too much else with my life.
No, it's fair. That's fair. You got always playing small spurts.
My hobbies are very monolithic. Got like I just play tabletop RPGs. Because I have a bit of an addictive personality. So
Mm-hmm.
I remember I downloaded City of Heroes for like a weekend.
Oh,
And like
uh-huh.
I only did a weekend. I couldn't do any more because it was like I was staying up to like 4 a.m. every night playing it. And my son he was little then and he loved it. He loved just watching.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh no, this has got to go. This is not good. Now I kind of like League of Legends because you could like play a game and it ended,
Mm-hmm,
right? Like
mm-hmm.
anything open world, forget about it. Like I need a
Oh,
definitive ending.
yes, I feel it. Like when Cyberpunk came out, that was me. That was my life. Like I was in Night City. That is
Yeah,
me. And I'm happy I got done with it, but I got done with it way too quickly because I spent way too many hours on
yeah,
it.
yeah. So Rivers RPG wants to know. Sorry if you answered this before. How long have you been playing D&D?
Oh, yes. D&D, like I'm still a newbie. I feel like I'm still a newbie, like 6 years. Yeah, it was basically one of my friends. I was going through like a hero's journey of being a geek.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, I got really addicted to tabletop games, like I'm still am, like tabletop, like board games. And then I was like, I'm gonna try World of Warcraft. Like I'm gonna try WoW right quick. Ugh. And I tried that for like a session because they had it for free. And I was like, oh, it's not my thing. And then I was like, you know what? I need to try D&D one time. And that one time was 6 years ago. And I'm
Nice.
still here.
And that was your thing. It was like Goldilocks.
It was just right.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
porridge was mwah.
Well, welcome. And also,
Thank
I
you.
don't think you're a noob anymore. I mean, that's a decent amount of time.
Yeah, but it's still like it's like some things I still like find like fascinating that I've never heard and people tell me. Like
Uh,
I keep hearing about Spelljammer
oh yeah,
and how like the new like UA got people like very excited and they thinking that's where it's going,
yeah.
which I love the new UA. Like I want to play an amoeba monk and call him Flubber. Like
That's so
I
good.
I want to. Oh,
Oh
I,
man, I want to do a snail guy using the plasmoid because it says you can have one leg or 2 legs. And like Kev was like, oh, what if you did it like kind of like a Yanti or like a snake? I'm like, oh yeah. What if you just did the 1 foot thing that like just moves you along like you were a slug?
see that's I love that. That
Yeah.
brings me happiness and joy.
So yeah. So and also like I heard rumors of Star Frontiers, but that one I think is way off. Star Frontiers was just a completely different game. in
Mhm.
in the 80s, like they came out with D&D, and then TSR put out like all the other genres as
Mhm.
well,
Mhm.
right? And so Star Frontiers was their futuristic one. And a
Okay.
lot of the like all of the races in that UA basically have a correlation to one of the races in that. But I don't know which came
Hmm.
first. I don't know if Star Frontiers came out first or if Spelljammer came out first. But one
Mhm.
definitely influenced the other.
Fair, fair. That I gotta look into that because I that sounds fun.
Uh, Rivers wants to know if you've tried any of the older editions.
That is on my list because I want to. I want to try. I want to play every D&D. Like
Yeah.
I heard people didn't. I heard people really love 3.5. I heard that was a good one. I heard some people thought 4 was crunchy, but I want to do it. I want to go back to the advanced guide of Dungeons and
Nah,
Dragons. Like
third's crunchy. Fourth wasn't crunchy. It was just very different.
mm.
Um, but so like, and also like if you play 1E Pathfinder, that's very similar to third. So you could do like
Mhm.
you could do both of those and kind of like you could do one of those and kind of
Mhm.
kill two birds with one stone.
Fair enough. I
Four
think I
was
did.
very like codified. And like I really appreciate what Wizards of the Coast tried to do, but it just didn't land
Mhm.
well with
Mhm.
the community. Like they
Mm.
tried to take things from video games and go, okay, like this stuff makes sense. We can use a shared language and like it's all things if it was not a D&D game people probably would have liked. Uh
Mm.
but
Mhm.
it was
Mhm.
it was too different for people, I guess.
Which is fair because different change is different. But I want to play all of them. I want to see it.
Yeah. It's definitely a lot different. And also if you play like 1E and 2E, they were far more lethal. So,
Oh yeah, I heard. I've
yeah.
heard like you basically had to make multiple characters because your character was going to die, and then I love the fact they went you like kept track. So you go like from sheet place to place from DM to DM, and then you can have like your sheet that you can. Anyway, yes, I want to play all
Like
of them.
in 5e, you take a long rest and you get all your hit points back.
Mhm.
In
Mhm.
1e, it took like months. Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, yeah, I'm going to play it. That
Yeah,
is
yeah. It's a lot of fun. Like so I want to say recent, but it's not really that recent.
uh.
I was one of the DMs at D&D in a castle, and then after our castle was done, I went to one of the other ones as like the auxiliary DM.
Okay.
And I had like a night where there were no games for me to run, so I was like, all right, let me go to the bar, and I went up to the bar to get a drink, and then somehow I ended up in a 1E game. Uh, Stefan Picorni was running one, and I walked by, they're like, hey, jump in, and so I started playing that, which I hadn't played 1E, and at that point it must have been decades.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
and of course, like Stefan Pergorni owns Dwarven Forge, so like he's got this giant castle that's made out of Dwarven Forge, and it was really cool. It was a lot of fun, and it ended with one of the players casting lightning bolt, and
Uh-huh.
it hit the monster
Okay.
and kept going, and then hit the wall behind the monster and
Uh.
bounced, came back, hit the monster again, killing it, but then also hit like three of the other players and
Mhm.
killed them as well. Because that's how Lightning Bolt worked in first edition. And like, I'm so glad that that happened. That
That's oh.
I was so happy because like that was like quintessential first edition.
I I'm even more excited than I was before. Like
Yeah.
oh, cause that's some cause he's just Ricochet. Huh.
Oh yeah,
I
like
might
in the early days, you would like you'd be like trying to do trigonometry to figure out what you could do with your lightning bolt. And also it was also like a big deal too, like
Mhm.
getting those, being a wizard in first edition, it's like you're stabbing things with a dagger after you cast your one spell a day at first level. And when you finally get up to fifth level and you can cast, fireball for the first time.
Mhm.
It was
Mhm.
like just a feat just to make it that long. So Brian wants to know, what is your view on minis and terrain?
I love minis and terrain. Like here's my view. I love them. I suck at painting, so I can't like me trying to make minis, like of course I'm making mini like from different like websites, but me painting, I suck. I you know what? I've been trying to learn a better word. I am not good yet at it, but I love it. Like my DM, my first DM, he used like foam to do a whole bunch of stuff, and he was just painting and he painted our minis. It was beautiful. And I was talking about it before, how there's no like feeling when you see your little 1-inch mini face like a huge dragon, like seeing the
Yeah.
scale of everything. It's and then some people could like do modulation with their terrain, and so like if somebody hits something, that part's broken off, or there's a lava coming in and now is like spreading, like like that like textile feeling of it.
Yeah.
It's nothing like it.
It definitely is super cool. Ted likes to do a lot of terrain and in his games, and he likes to make.
Mhm.
He likes so for a long time he was doing a combination of using papercraft and scatter.
Mhm.
So
Mm.
yeah, so the papercraft made it a lot easier, but then like the
Mhm.
scatter kind of gave it a little more 3 dimensional,
Mm.
stuff to it. Yeah, I am mostly theater of the mind, but I also like I'm not into painting minis. Like my favorite thing was third edition came out with pre-painted minis. It's like I'm also not very good at it, and I don't enjoy it. Like I don't think you have to be good at it, but you do need to enjoy it.
Fair, fair. Because you take some time. Like I seen like not a whole bunch, but I've seen like a couple of people like this explain their process and how they're just in there. That's like their vibe. They're like they're
Yeah,
zen. They're just getting like a little magnifying glasses, just painting small strokes. I would lose my mind. Like I would have to do something else. just because I just can't focus that much on that, but I'm
yeah.
proud of people who can, because it looks amazing.
I don't think I did. I never even painted a mini until 2017 at Origins.
Mhm.
And Jason from Realm Smith TV had invited me to be one of the guest painters, and
Okay,
it
okay.
was terrible. It was so bad. And they've asked me a couple times, so I always do it because I just like hanging out with those guys.
Yeah,
Um, and what they do is freaking amazing. What I do, not so much.
yeah. Yeah, if you know how to do it, you are. Oh, they so beautiful. Like it's like is their art pieces truly. Like
I
you,
use way
you
too
if
much paint. You could literally use my mini to paint other minis.
fair, fair.
Jonathan
Oh.
T wants to know what's your favorite overall class.
Oh, I think I know Jonathan T. Huh. My favorite class. He knows this. It's Twilight Cleric. He knows I love the Twilight Cleric. Oh, I hearted. Like it, there's like a little kid out there who was set in Ravnica, who's part of this Celestia conclave named Puer Nocta? Yeah, Nocta, who was this kid who just loved the night, and he would cast a whole bunch of spells, and like he could save all his people. I love Twilight Cleric. Like it's my favorite.
I played that was my character death in my first character death in Ravenloft. Was my
Wow.
was I played a human Twilight cleric
Mm-hmm.
um of Maglubliet, the
Okay. Okay.
the goblin god. And
Mm-hmm.
like he was an
Mm-hmm.
urchin, and so his background was he was raised by goblins.
Okay.
And yeah, I all I tried doing that whole campaign was trying to convert people to Maglubliet. And we had the selling point of your afterlife is you get to fight orcs all day for the rest of eternity.
That's fair.
I didn't get many takers.
No.
They're like talking about the Morning Lord. I'm like, listen, have you heard about the good news of Maglubliet?
That's fun. That's fun. But yeah, I love Twilight Clerics. Like the whole aspect, and I love how they changed it. So now you can, when you in like mid dim light, you can actually do the fly spell stuff for just levitating.
Yeah,
because
yeah, it's so cool. You get to fly. You get the. They had a really good spell list too.
they did, and it was great. Like, oh, it was a great feeling. I was on the rooftops because we was playing in Ravnica. We did a Guildmaster guide at Ravnica, and he just did a whole like magic, like character arc of like what was that war called? War against the Planeswalkers. I can't think of it right now. But basically, he did that whole thing from beginning to end. And there's a whole bunch of like slivers and there's like shapeshifters. And it felt great for my little 16-year-old to run on top of the roof, jump up, see a shapeshifter, and cast Moonbeam. Like it was, oh, I love Twilight Clerics.
It sounds like fun. I'm not really. I'm not a Magic player. Like I never even really played Magic. I've maybe like once or twice, but I love the Magic the Gathering settings that they're introducing into the game. I know there's like a lot of people are a bit cantankerous about it and grouchy, but to me, it's like, I mean, like everyone's clamoring for these same old campaign settings that I feel like we don't really need because there's enough information out there to like play them if you really wanted to. But I'm like, no, give me something new that I haven't seen yet. That's what I want.
Like I am still hoping. I can never say it. Oh, it's Eldritch. Yes, it's the Throne of Eldritch. Basically, Eldritch is basically Shrek, the world of Shrek. So they have like all the different fairy tales. I want to see that in a D&D setting. Like you can go to the Feywild and get a little bit of it, but I want to play as the Cookie Monster, as the gingerbread man. I want to play gingerbread man as a monster or as a playable class, like a race. It's just I want that. That's my. So I agree with you when it says like I want like different settings. Like I want to see some of these. Like Innistrad is basically Ravencroft, but has a little bit more. So we can see like elements of it, but we don't need it.
Well, they did that one as one of the crossovers, so there's a UA with it, with some. I mean, not everything, but
it's a plane shift. Yeah, they had like
they did like 5 of them, I think.
Yeah, they did like 5 of them. That's when I played my Blood Hunter vampire. It was great.
Nice.
And then he died from a blood monster, which is he got swallowed by one, which is like wow. But yeah.
Wait a minute, your vampire died from a blood monster?
Yeah, my vampire blood hunter got swallowed by a blood monster.
That is ironic.
I know. That's what made it so great. Oh, and he was so cool. He was like based on like that dude from Princess Bride. Oh, my wife would be mad if I don't remember that movie. But basically, he's like, my name is, I can't remember his name, but you killed my father. Prepare to die. Like that was his whole thing. But except for a sword, he had like a spiked metal bat. Nice. He used it like as a morning star, and he was fun until he got swallowed. Oh, but great though.
I feel like that character's name is going to go down in shame forever amongst the blood hunters.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. His name is like Mr. M. I think that's what his like. He had a long name, but like Mr. M was like his shorter name. And yeah, we don't talk about Mr. M.
Man,
he's a story of what you don't do.
Yeah. It happens.
Yeah, it happens. It was weird and fun at the same time.
So what games are you currently playing?
Okay, so I'm playing D&D. Obviously, I play on stream. I play on Saturdays, like at 10. Well, it's 10 CST, so it's 11 my time. So it's like a Saturday morning cartoon, but we're playing Baldur's Gate, and so it's not a Saturday morning cartoon kids would actually be having, but it's amazing. And so we play that, and then my home game, my Friday game, I play Dungeons and Dragons, and we play in a place called Utopia, which is just a hacked video game. It's I love that place. And then on Thursdays I play Worldwide Wrestling RPG, where we play the company's called Brutal Crit Wrestling, and just basically wrestling with fantasy races. So you got like the orc versus the Goliath and stuff like that in a professional wrestling ring. It's so fun.
Nice. And as always, folks, there are links down in the description. There's a link
Oh yeah.
tree. I believe those things are linked in there, so you can go check them out and watch
Mhm.
at your leisure.
Exactly. One game is a podcast, so you can just when you want to, you just go ahead and listen. But the links are down there. Check them out. We're weird, and it's a great way. But but yeah, that's the games I play.
Brian says I accidentally clipped the sentence about Blood Hunter getting killed by a blood monster.
You need to. It needs to be told.
The
To more
the story must go on.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
Because I was so happy with it because I thought it was clever. I was like, oh yeah, I could take on this on this blood monster. It's just me.
I got
And,
this. It's a blood monster. I'm a blood hunter.
and I'm a vampire. What could go
Yeah.
wrong?
Yeah, for sure. I have to save that clip.
Yes, you do. Please save it because I need more people to know about that. My agony and my joy. Like
yeah. It's short enough. Maybe I'll put it on TikTok.
See, there you go. There you go. That's how you get that grind. Put it on TikTok.
Yeah. How did you get? We haven't even talked about that really. How did you get started with TikToking?
So TikTok was like, I just wanted to try TikTok. Like I heard about TikTok, and this is literally the like progression of I think a lot of TikTok creators. You see it, you like, okay, this is cool. You like a couple of videos, you scroll. You're like, oh, I'm gonna duet this. And my duet was literally like somebody saying how you can twist your arm without you can like flip your palm without twisting your arm. So it's better to show it. So it's like when you do this, and then you do like my arm like this, like do, and it's freaking out because you flipped your wrist while twisting your wrist. So something silly like that. And then you get a couple likes, and then you want to post more, and then like years later, you have now like a whole Amazon lighting kit with the ring light and like the phone thing, and you got like makeup and you're doing all the characters, which is great. But yeah, that's how I got on TikTok. It was just something random. And I was like, I can talk about music in my D&D because I like talking about that.
How many videos have you made at this point?
How many videos I made? A lot. I was talking about before. There's so many. You got to grind when you go TikTok, and there's like moments that I don't post that much, but then there's like moments like last month where I was like, I'll be going to do this. Let the dice tell the story challenge where I rolled like 2 D12s, and so basically D12 advantage, and the highest number on it. That's how many videos I did that week, and so I got 12, 10, 12, and like 12. I think that's what I got. Something along those lines. It was like weird. It was like 12, 10, 12, 10. Oh yeah, because the last one was 10, 10, 3, 2, 1 joke. Anyway. So yeah, that's something. So I have no clue. I have to have at least 100. At least around there.
And how long have you been doing it?
Not that long, really. Maybe a year. Like I didn't really do anything for a bit.
Yeah.
But then I got really back into it. So about a year or two.
Yeah, I think it's a great space, for it's a great innovation for the D&D community right now for really spreading the hobby and getting different voices involved and reaching different people. And also like it just seems like people just prefer short form content nowadays.
Oh, our attention spans has shrunken so much. Like I can't even watch a 2-minute video. Like, I mean, I can, but like on TikTok, no. Like, you know the rules, 15, 30 seconds or a minute. You got that. It is great. And you were saying about like exploring the world. Like, I think that's the one thing I love about TikTok because I was seeing more BIPOC people like playing the games I love and having so much interest in it as much as I am. And I think that's a big thing for TikTok, at least for D&D TikTok or TTRPG TikTok. There's a lot of hashtags. Beggar talk. But just seeing different people of different ways of life, or people who like you can actually see like your type of people together. That's why I really love TikTok, because of that.
Yeah, I feel like it's just, and it's also really accessible. Like you can start, you just grab your phone, make a quick video, and then like you get like instant gratification. Where like
Mhm.
Twitch or YouTube, like it's a whole different grind.
Oh, you gotta have a strong like drive to do like a Twitch, and you also got to make sure you click off the notification how many views you got, because that
Yeah,
just makes you drain. But
yeah.
yeah, it's so different from like TikTok.
I mean, when we did YouTube, it was like the first 6 months was like crickets. So,
Mm.
and and like you just have to be prepared to do that. So it's not like it is like it's almost like a rite of passage that most of us go through. Some people get lucky and they just like strike gold right away, but
Mhm.
that is not the normal.
No, it's really about that grind. And any like social media
Yeah.
is about that grind. TikTok is, I think I said it earlier before, like 3 videos a day. Like you need to do like at least 10 videos a week, if that not more. Uh like one of my favorite people that I watch, I can't even remember his name, but he does a lot of um movie reviews and stuff like that. He was talking about his story, how he just made like 3 videos every day, and that's like
Yeah.
his grind. And I'm like, not me. I'll do 10,
Yeah.
but yeah, but he got success because he does that. So it's all about like the level of grind you can do. That's what I can
Brian says
do.
the hour-long chats must feel like eternity for TikTokers.
Man, I am stressing. I'm joking.
Get me out of here. Well,
Get me out of.
but that's the lie, right? Like TikTok
Mm-hmm,
videos are short, but before you
mm-hmm.
know it, an hour's gone by and you've watched 60 of them.
Exactly. Exactly. Like you could be like, it could be daytime. You it's nighttime now. Like it's you go through. There is a
Yeah.
funny thing on the app. There's a like wellness feature. What you can do is like you can like, I'm gonna set it for an hour. And I'll be in TikTok for an hour. And then you can't go, you get like get out of TikTok, and you have to like put a code in to, get out, to watch again, which is a great thing when you have self-control.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if you're me, I just see that thing, put in the code, and continue doing what I was doing. Like,
Yeah.
like so
Before
it
you know
doesn't
it, you put
help.
in the code 5 times.
Exactly. It doesn't help. I even got like, and this is me, I love TikTok too much. Like I even got like, my phone has the same thing. And it's like it will put you like, you can have like a digital wellness time of like 9 to 5, and you can't go on an app. If you want to, you can go on there for like 5 hours. I mean 5 hours, 5 minutes, and then you're good. I click that 5 minutes button so many times.
Yeah.
So yeah.
One of the friends in one of our games that I play in, yeah, that's what she said she does. Like she only gives herself so much time on
Mm-hmm.
TikTok per day, and then cuts herself off. Yeah, most of the time, like when I take the dog out, I'll have it on,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
or on the toilet. I think that's where a lot of
Yeah.
TikToking gets
Yeah,
gets viewed. So,
yeah. That's legit.
yeah.
But yeah, I
But
love
like I
TikTok.
said, it is cool, and there is like a lot of different communities on there. So whatever someone's into, you can probably find it on there as
Mhm.
well.
Like
So
I have seen a whole bunch of things about art, and I'm bad at it,
yeah,
but I love seeing people do it. Like it's just amazing. So I get like into this good like trail of different people making like monsters or making different like art pieces. And somebody talked to me about like the history between like graffiti
yeah,
art like in London, and I was just hooked. And so like you can find a lot of different communities there. It doesn't take that much of searching, because TikTok knows what you like.
yeah. Once you've like watched a couple of videos at the same time, that's all you're gonna get. So, which can be good or bad, right? Like depending.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you end up in weird places, and you're like, "How did I get here?"
Yes, yes. Oh, I love the algorithm.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? So,
Yeah.
what kind of content do you post up over on TikTok for people that might be interested in checking you out?
Yeah. I do a lot of. I have like earlier in the stream. I said I do like three different things. Uh, some type of tabletop aspect to it. Like I would either talk about. It's never actually about talking about the thing. It's just using the thing like in real life. Like I realized that I am a bard from the College of Serendipity,
Uh,
which is basically bards here just gets idea out of the whim. Like you can be trying to cook some cookies. Next thing you know, you're trying to make a video about why why grasses is green. Why can't it be blue or indigo? Like you just come up with ideas out of that kind of spot. So it's random stuff like that. I might talk about like different things that excite me, like the Elder Brain Dragon. That's really like I need it. Like I made a couple of videos, about 3 videos exactly, about how much I need that dragon in my game. Uh and then so that's what I do. And then sometimes I will post like songs, either I do a cover randomly, or I would like if I had a EP, so I dropped some of my songs in it. And then I do random things. Just the third person just does random things like pie themselves in the face for some odd reason. For no apparent reason, just did it because it was funny. So that's basically what I do on TikTok. Is one of those three.
is there any D&D music over there yet?
There is. I did sing the Fireball song on in one of the videos. It was definitely me with my guitar doing at least a chorus of it, and so that's definitely over there. And then I think I
Nice.
did another one. I know I did another one. I can't remember right now. I have a lot of ideas, but yeah.
We need more D&D music.
I feel it. I'm working on it.
Yeah. I feel like there is a couple bands that like have kind of like their shtick is like doing that stuff. Like there's a metal band called Gygax. It's like so so we need other genres to represent now.
See, exactly,
So it's on you,
exactly.
Shay. No pressure.
I will. I'll put on my whiteboard. It will
Yeah.
happen. Oh god. Whew.
So
Yeah.
cool, so cool. So the stream game you're playing in, what are you playing?
Mhm. I am playing a reborn blood hunter
Okay, that's
named
the Reborn Blood
Unison.
Hunter. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
I don't remember if we talked about that before we went live or after.
I don't know. I can do a quick rundown because I know. Okay, so basically, Unison is a uh entity, a person who died in Baldur's Gate. That's what we're playing. And then like 4 aspects of Baldur's Gate of people who represented it came together because the city soul saw them and they came together, and they became Unison, which is because they're 4 people and they're 4 people like constantly in the mind. So you got like the actor who's like Unison, and then you got like the little not shy but really reserved teachers like Uni, and then you have the old person who just talked about buildings named Mr. Unison. And then you have the crazy one who just Unison the chosen. And so that's what I play. I play like different random parts of my psyche.
Do you always do a voice?
Yes, yes. I try to do voices for all things I do. I'm not the best at it, but for that character, I will hit every voice and every time. Like if I'm being creepy, I'm being like this and talking real slow and kind of like a lower register of him from the Powerpuff Girls.
Oh
Like he
yeah,
was like,
yeah.
oh yes, Powerpuff Girls. Except for like, ah yes. So it's like some lower register version of that. And so yeah, I try to do voices for everybody.
Nice. I'm not very good at it at all. And also, after a while, I just always end up falling out of the voice.
Oh yeah, it takes practice, and I do as well. Like, especially when you have like a lot of things in your mind, like you're
Yeah.
getting attacked, and it's like you're about to die. I don't know how many voices coming out of my mouth.
It was funny for the one game we were playing. I think it was with the Saver Dice podcast. I was playing Tony Two Tusks, and like a kind of like a barbarian with a criminal background is kind of like
Uh-huh.
modeled after the mafia. So
Yes.
like I was trying to like figure out a voice, and so I'm walking around the house playing YouTube videos of how to speak with a Jersey accent. Now, mind you, I'm from New Jersey. My wife is like, "What are you doing?" But that's
Trying
like
to get
more
in
North
character.
Jersey anyway. It's like completely different.
Fair, fair. But yeah, that's I've done that a lot, especially with the YouTube. Like I tried to do like a Scottish accent.
Yeah.
I got no, I have nothing. Like it's embarrassing. Like but
I'm terrible at accents. Yeah, and especially like if someone's like, "Here, do this accent," and that makes me even worse than I normally am all of a sudden.
right. Like I don't know where it was from, but I was like, I need to do a pirate voice now. Hi, I'm a pirate. It was like
Yeah.
Krusty Krab. Yeah, Squidward. Pirate. Yeah, no.
It definitely happens.
Yeah.
So, what is an RPG that you haven't tried yet that you want to check out?
There's a list. There's Mask that I really want to try. That's like a superhero teenage story.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to do that one. I want to do like I kind of played it, but I'm not gonna count as me playing it because we didn't really go with it. Misspent Youth, which is a basically a it's like a teen, it's like still that teenage angst, and you're trying to like go against the man and you're trying to
Yeah.
beat
I haven't
them.
actually heard of that one.
Yes, yes, it's that. And then Call to Cthulhu. I have it, didn't play it. I won a solo RPG solo adventure for Call of Cthulhu, but I don't have like the main book. I have like the starter kit, so I got to get the main book before I play it. But I want to play that. Um, there's so many. There is, let's see, we playing a wrestling one, so that's off the list. Uh, fancy age, modern age, like the age systems.
Yeah.
I want to start playing. I want to play One Good Time. Um,
I played
there is
Expanse, which runs off of that system.
cool, cool, yeah, yeah. And then cause I got hooked from Titan's Grave that Will Wheaton did. Oh,
Oh
it was
yeah,
so
yeah.
beautiful. I wish there was more seasons. Anyway, so it was like I need to play that. I need to play. There's a I kickstarted somebody named they're the Hue Studios, Darker Hue Studios, something like that. They have a cool thing called Hunted West, and it's like a beautiful game that's set in like the Wild West, but has like spooky stuff happening. So kind of like Deadlands in a
Yeah.
sense that I also need to play. Um, but that book is like the Haunted West and why I can't get into some RPGs. That book is 800 pages.
Oh yeah, that's brutal.
Like I
Here,
could
want to do something really fun? Just read this 800-page book.
I graduated college. I
Yeah.
don't need to read more textbooks.
Yeah.
Like I love like I can't wait to play Vampires because Vampires I'm about to play. I have never played before. But Vampires was for 425 and then Cyberpunk's like 450.
Yeah.
You show me a game that's 800.
That's crazy.
Like it's passion. I respect the passion. I think in the book he also did or they also did like different backgrounds of different like real life cowboys and people that was in the Wild West,
Hmm.
like small like snippets. So I know that's a
Like
big part of
profiles.
profile. Uh-huh. So I know
Yeah.
they did a lot of that one, but still, I'm just it is a lot. But yeah, those are the games I'm thinking. I know there's more. Like I know like in my shelf right now. Oh, Kids on Brooms. I want to play Kids on Brooms. That which is the same people who make Kids on Bikes. So what
Yeah.
is like a D it's another system that I just love and want to play.
For Haunted West, you have to find someone to run it for you so you can just learn how to play it without reading
Yeah,
all those pages.
that's the goal. But I also learned by GMing, and I'm okay with it. So I just
When
know
I
how to GM
ran
stuff.
Cypher System, like I feel like comfortable with the rules, but I was like, let me read through the book before I actually run it.
Mm-hmm.
And what I found was like, oh wait a minute, there's a bunch of sections you just can skip, right? So
Yeah.
that's what you have to look for. Those sections that aren't really important to like learning the game. So maybe we can cut you can cut 800 pages down to 400, but it's still a
Yeah,
lot of
which is
pages.
doable. I mean, it's still a lot of pages, but the player handbook is like 320. So it's not
Yeah.
like undoable. It's just that's a lot of work.
And
Which I'm gonna
RPGs
do.
aren't generally exciting to read, right? Like
Mhm.
they read like stereo instructions. So
Right. But and I learned like somebody was telling me like he reads like RPGs, like books, before he goes to bed.
oh yeah.
Like that is mind-boggling and it is perfect. Like that, like I'm just gonna read this little chapter and then be done. And
Yeah.
like I'm gonna start doing that. Like that's the way to go, really.
Good luck with that. I don't know if I can do it.
I mean, it
The
will make you go to sleep, but that'll be the purpose too. So
yeah, well
you learn a
that's
little
true.
something.
The
Then
best the best written RPG to read,
mm-hmm.
I feel like, is Dresden Files Fate. Like that book,
Mm.
and I still didn't finish it. But that book read really well, and it was very narrative in the way it was written.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So it made it a lot more enjoyable, where it wasn't just like it wasn't like you're just reading a textbook.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's one thing about Vampires Masquerade, the fifth one. Like the first 20 pages, it's like different documents about findings of vampires. And it's like, so you have like, so it's like bringing you the story right up front. And it
Yeah.
was amazing. It's just, I had to read 8 pages, 20 pages of that, and then get to like the beginning. But yeah, so
Yeah, we're working on a project. I'm gonna pitch that. See, like, think about if there's like a more narrative way we can present it, so it isn't like just
mhm.
reading a textbook.
Because then it really engages like the person who's reading it. Like you
Yeah,
really feel like there's a difference between like in the Dungeons Guide reading like the different planes and different like uh pantheon of gods from having an adventure, reading an adventure about explorer who got in contact with that same pantheon. So it's like it brings you into the story, I feel. So yeah.
yeah, no, absolutely, kind of pulls you along, and it doesn't feel like you're just reading a bunch of stuff that you have to memorize.
Right.
Yeah,
I take notes. I'm just you have
yeah,
to.
100%. Um, so when is your stream game? You said that is that Saturday mornings. You said.
Saturday mornings. It's 10 Central Time.
Uh, and how deep into
So
the series is it?
we have gotten past, and I'll do a little spoiler warning if you haven't played it, but we have gotten to like the Duke. We went to Duke's house and to like, and I don't know if this is how if the DM did this or this is part of the game, but
Yeah.
we basically got transported into another like demi plane, and we just got done like facing the Duke, and that was like that was so insane. Like the whole place was like in a different like void, and so it's like a endless pit. So we pushed one of the monsters down thinking it was done, but it
Yeah.
was just kind of like a portal gun, so it'll go from the top and just fall back down. And so
Oh
we
no.
we we actually, and they say if I see a mechanic I can't help but try it.
Yeah, yeah.
So one of our characters named Vol stretched out his arms because he was a rune knight, and so I believe he could do stuff like that. So he stretched out the arm to grab the Duke's son, pulled him near it and had him grappled. And then what I did was I jumped over Vol, hooked my legs around the son, and we both fell down. So basically I did a pile driver, and then I rolled around, did a Canadian destroyer, which is another pile driver, and
Uh-huh.
then I pushed them off. So it's like a power bomb from the heavens down, and that's how we beat him. Like it was great, but I kind of had 1 HP afterwards because I
Dope.
took the fall damage every time he took the fall damage, but he took more.
Yeah, that's the important thing, right?
That's the important thing.
Yeah.
And plus, as a reborn person, you get advantages on death saves, so you're good.
Piece of cake. Now, is that archived somewhere? Is it archived on YouTube or
Yes.
something?
It's on the. I don't have that link. I will link it, but I believe it should be archived onto the Rim Alternatives Productions, and I'll put a link. I'll put a YouTube link of them in my LinkedIn too. They have a whole sorts of things like you saying Dresden. They run a Dresden game on Mondays.
Nice.
And let's see, they had a Sunday. They have it's amazing. This dude made a comic, and he just made a D&D world in that comic, and the D&D world that he runs in that game affects the comic as well.
Oh, cool.
So that's what he does, and then we have a all LGBTQ cast in one on Thursdays, and then a majority predominantly Black cast on Saturdays at like 10 a.m. and it's so fun.
Cool. So we were at the hour mark. Final thoughts before we head on out?
You know what? Just play some games, people. If there's a game that you've been looking at, just go for it. If you don't know how to GM it, sometimes you don't need to know all the rules to play the game. You just need to play it. Make it up as you go. Exactly.
For sure. As always, folks, links are in the description. Go check them out. Go click and follow Shay around the interwebs. Stalk him in the good way, not the creepy way. And until next time, stay nerdy.